Euro 2020 has reached the knockout phase. It's now mano a mano.
Yes.
It's 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it. No more looking at what's happening on their page. No more, what are the third place permutations?
No,
Screw
which
all
half
that.
of the draw
We're
is
done.
best? No.
All right, so we will be looking back at what took us here. We will be putting together our best 11 of the group stage.
Yes.
But first, let's look at the draw. Let's look at what awaits. Games starting on Saturday right through Tuesday.
You know the real Euro starts now, right?
Yeah, that's what people say. I like my group stage
This is the big
too.
boy stuff.
But
Before was a bit like, come on. Now we're getting serious.
This is for grown-ups. So I'm just looking at my draw here. I'll start top. Belgium against Portugal. I need some percentages from you because we've learned from 2016, do not bet against Cristiano and Portugal. On the other hand, Belgium were my pre-tournament pick to win it all.
Yeah.
And I see no reason to change that based on what they showed me in the group stage.
No, I thought Portugal showed some positives against France. Certainly in the first half. They lost their way in the second half a bit. But in the first half, I thought Renato Sanchez brought a lot. It was a bit more the
All right, that's about Renato Sanchez going forward. We don't need to review the France-Portugal game. We'll talk about that later.
Was dropped, which is important. No, but that's got an
Fernandes
impact to do
getting
on
back in?
No, that's what I'm so let me talk. Bruno Fernandes being dropped, I think, was big because it's a bit of the old Portugal, and that's the way to play against this Belgium team. And I think if they can do again that first half against France, against Belgium, I think they can cause them trouble. Then Lukaku is so good, and KDB is so good, and even Eden Hazard is going back with Witsel to almost full fitness. That I agree with you. Belgium should be favourite, and our favourite, maybe like 60-40, I would say. But you're right. You can't count out Portugal in this kind of the new old direction that they're going.
Sorry for interrupting you. I just had to point out the Bruno Fernandes bias here. No, I agree with you. He's not been effective. And it's just not a good fit, this setup with Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
I don't expect we're going to see him start against Belgium. If we had to do percentages, what do we say?
60-40, do you think?
I go even a little higher.
Are you a bit worried about, for example, the Belgium we saw in the first half against Denmark, where they were on the back foot, making mistakes at the back? We saw the goal came from that Denayer, really poor pass, but still they were put under pressure, couldn't get out of the press. Does that worry you a little bit, or you think once KDB is there and Witsel is there, it's a different team anyway?
I think they can pass through the press. I don't think Portugal have the players to press them in the same way. Again, not a knock on Cristiano, but you don't want Cristiano running around chasing defenders, not because he can't do it, but because it's not good use of Cristiano. Italy against Austria. Italy.
You're happy, aren't you? You're happy. I can tell the smile on your face.
I'm not used to seeing an Italy team win 3 group games and play this well. Not in the group stage. So they're all well rested. I'm assuming he's going to go back to the original version. I think one question might be Verratti, one question might be Chiellini if fit. Overwhelming favorites against Austria?
Austria have no chance unless really something happens and that they turn into this very solid defensive team. But even in the last game in all the games that they played, whether the 2 that they won or the one that they heavily lost, they look shaky at the back. I just can't see them being able to cope with the intensity, the running, the movement of this very, very good Italian team.
Percentage?
85-15, and I think we are kind to Austria.
France, Switzerland on paper. Again, another team in blue, which has won the World Cup and the Euros before, against another Alpine nation. How about that, right? I can make even more. There is a German-speaking part of Italy, and there is a French-speaking part of Switzerland, right?
Yeah.
So
they're cousins. We all cousins.
So many
really.
parallels there. Yeah. Exactly. Probably the 4 best skiing countries in Europe by a country mile, I would say, right?
Yeah, as well.
I'm not talking proper skiing, not cross country. No disrespect to Jan and our Norwegian friends.
Yeah, no, that doesn't count.
Again, overwhelming favorites.
I think so. It has to be another 85-15. Really, I don't see how this Swiss team, although they were good against the Turks and Shaqiri, who's the key there, was good. I still don't think, even with their 3 at the back, that can frustrate maybe France a little bit. I don't think they can.
Yeah,
they can cause enough trouble to win.
I'm going 85% again.
Yeah, I agree.
It just also, I know Pekovic can draw up complicated defensive things to go and mess you up, but he hasn't done it thus far in the tournament. That midfield that I had high hopes for, Freuler and Xhaka, they haven't done it. Embolo had a game where he was very good, a game where he was terrible.
Yeah.
I just too much uncertainty.
Yeah, and I think the French will hit their peak fitness-wise now. I think you saw them with a bit leggy legs with all the fitness work that they've done before the tournament and even in this first round. And I just think that this is when France are good. This is what they do. They love those knockout games, 1 in, 1 out, like you said, or 2 ins, 1 out. And I think they will be very good against the Swiss that don't have much of a chance.
Speaking of leggy legs in France, just to complete this, who's going to play left back?
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter because
no.
the answer is France don't play with a left back because they play 4 central defenders. Honestly, you got Koundé on the right, Pavard on the left, and you're set.
Yeah,
Bob's your mother's brother.
He could do that or move Kimpembe left. I think Lucas Hernandez will be able to play. He will be fit. It's a knee problem, but more of a knock kind of thing than Ding. You have to feel for Ding because they told him at halftime, "Hey, you're going to come on." He rushed his warm up, was not ready. Played 5 minutes, got injured.
I do feel for him because he is one of the good ones.
He is one of the good ones.
Croatia against Spain now.
Interesting.
You know my thoughts on Lucho.
Me too.
I think Spain have played much better than the results. Obviously, the penalty misses don't help. The Morata misses don't help.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're a bit underrated. And I've seen Croatia play twice in person, and they've been distinctly underwhelmed. However, I get that niggly Modric magic feeling tournament time that we saw in the last World Cup too. So I can't give Spain more than 60%.
No, I think 60-40 is fair because of the Modric factor, because of the experience factor as well. This is a very, very experienced Croatian team, and it's a very inexperienced Spanish team, if you think about it. Apart from, Busquets, for example. But the rest, Unai Simon, Pedri, just to name a few, even someone like Sarabia.
What if we see Eric Garcia and
as well?
Laporte
but I think the experience could play a part. But again, Spain will have to play with their tempo and their intensity, which I don't think Croatia can match. But if you let Croatia play with their own tempo, a bit like what Scotland did too much, then I think they can take the game away from you. So
I think Luis Enrique
60-40 is good.
Yeah, is a genius, but I can't go past 60.
No, he's
because
good.
He also scares me when he starts doing weird things with the lineup. Whatever. I won't get into that. We'll have time to talk about this. Yeah. Wales against Denmark.
Nice. That's nice. It's a nice game.
Okay, I'm not going to patronize these teams.
It's a nice game.
I think there is a risk that this becomes one-way traffic if we see Wales the way they've played in some of the group games, 8 men behind the ball, and then rely on Bale and Ramsey. Daniel James to run with it and Kiefer Moore to go and run into people. Is that enough to beat Denmark? Denmark, a great story. Pre-tournament, they were my dark horses. Obviously, after what they went through with Eriksen, there's no Eriksen, but then you have Damsgaard, who's done pretty well.
Yeah.
Came back after losing their first 2 group games. We got to go with Denmark as favorites here, right?
Yeah, I think slightly favourite because I think the Welsh
55-60%.
Yeah, 55-60. I think the Welsh would be very happy not to be favourite. Very happy to be the outsiders. Very happy to play their game, which is being solid and then relying a lot on your stars. But they played so well against Turkey that way that they can do it again against Denmark. There's no reason why not. Italy were too good, no problem. But I think they can certainly copy a bit the game that they had against Turkey to face those Danes. So I think Denmark have to be slightly favourite because they've got overall better players. And
you're going as high as 60 or
55-45? I think is fair. It's fair because I would not pass to the Welsh to do this again.
I'm gonna go 60. Holland against the Czech Republic. Okay. Ooh. So our views on Frank de Boer, I think, are well known.
Well known, best manager in the world.
3 wins out of 3 in the group stage. I think it's fair to say a lot of things broke their way.
Yeah.
Looking at this draw, I kind of feel like, hey, look, things are breaking his way again, right?
Yeah, completely.
It's lucky to be good, and it's good to be lucky.
Exactly. They've got too much legs, too much movement, intensity, too
much Marlin now as well.
Yeah, and I think where they will struggle eventually is against team that can put them under pressure on defensive transition because they put so many men forward because it's a bit crazy football where there's not much of a structure to it or control. That's how they're vulnerable. But that's not what the Czech do. They don't have that pace up front. They don't go quickly in offensive transitions. So I think the Dutch will win that game easy.
What percentage we give him? 70?
More than that. It has to be 80-20. The Czechs are not very good.
I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going to say 70%.
No.
Finally, the two games on Tuesday. We will be referring to these games,
Yes.
talking them again on Monday, so we'll go a bit quicker with these. But it's Sweden against Ukraine.
Yeah.
You don't seem to be excited by
I
this
don't
game
care.
as much as I am.
I could not care less.
Okay.
I mean, Isak is my boy, and you and I love him, and we followed him a lot this season with.
What about the
Real
magic
Sociedad.
elf, Emil Forsberg?
No.
No?
This is the one game that just doesn't do it for me whatsoever.
I think Sweden match up pretty well with Ukraine.
Yeah.
I think Ukraine probably overall have more technical players. But Sweden are very, very well drilled. You know, they can go and sit and they can bore you that way and wear you down. But they can also, I think, take advantage of set pieces. I think there is real quality in Forsberg. He has to be dealt with. Once he's lit up.
And
he is lit
Kulusevski
up.
made a good entrance against
And now
Poland.
you've got the Kulusevski wild card
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So I think Sweden 55-45 in this game.
That's
yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Finally, England against Germany. The hype machine in full swing. There's a lot of history about this.
Of course.
We don't need to go through every Euro 96 and 1966 World Cup.
Yeah.
But I'm just
The
going to
2010 World Cup as well, you know.
Yes, and the goal that wasn't,
that wasn't,
whatever.
was, and
All right. I'm just going to ask you a question, though, that it's one of those things that it's one of the pieces we have on the website where we were asked, which team among the big ones has the highest ceiling? In other words, can improve the most,
yeah.
or has been punching most below its weight? And I think it's got to be one of these two teams, England and Germany.
Yeah.
The problem is, I ask myself, can they get to where they want to be, given where they are right now? So you've got, with Germany, you have a manager who was once great, who seems really completely delegitimized because of some of the performances. And with England, you have a manager who is a nice guy, is a likable guy, has the courage of his convictions, fine, changes the team every single game, and has a lot of trouble actually scoring goals.
He's not very good, yeah.
Is that
No, I think for me, England, when you look at them play and when you look at the talent that they have, this is not good enough. They should be playing so much better. I'm just saying playing so much better with other strength than what they've showed so far. This is a team that is capable of playing with far more intensity than what they've showed so far, with pressing far more than what they've done. I don't understand why Southgate doesn't see it. So for me, the room for improvement is massive, and you might not get it over a week because you just prepare for the next game. It's not proper training. However, if he finds the right formula, there's so much more coming from this England team. But for me, this is 50-50, Gab. It has to be 50-50.
Yeah, I would go with that too. It is one of the mysteries of this England team about how people go on about, the Premier League, the intensity, blah, blah, blah. And then England, who are mostly made up, in fact, exclusively made up of England players, except for Sancho, who is, the ugly kid in the corner who doesn't get to play, are actually the team that, of the big countries, probably presses the least in this tournament.
It's crazy.
Well, no, actually, they do press more than France.
Only
France don't need to press.
Only Finland and Hungary had less shot in this tournament than England. Less shot. You don't even shoot. The expected goals in the second half against the Czech, 0. 0 expected goals over 45 minutes in a Euro group games at home. It's just, I don't get it. And that's why I'm really hoping that they will find the right way of playing against these German teams. Otherwise, I can see Germany winning this. I really do.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.